One point I was just going to make that I think answers a question you asked earlier about, like, why is creativity good in the workplace? I think you just answered it right there. That's why, because if there's a culture of creativity like there was in Pixar, and there's the reality, I believe, that is widely been proven that to get to the most creative idea or a creative idea or an outside the box creative idea takes a lot of ideas. It's going to take idea after idea. You cannot really have a defined number of ideas before you get to the idea. And if you don't have everyone working toward that goal of having ideas and having a place to put the ideas, like you said, a suggestion box or program like I got to do where you get to pitch your idea, like a Shark Tank kind of thing, or some avenue to actually give the idea for it to go somewhere meaningful, then people just go, all right, I guess you don't really care about any of my ideas. You have to all accept that not every idea is going to be a good idea. If you have 20 ideas, you might have one that's a good idea. But if you just say, we don't want any ideas because that's a waste of our time to get the 19 bad ideas to try to get the one, you'll never get the one because you'll never have a process. There will never be that culture. So that's what I loved about Pixar, and I would love anywhere that I work to have that avenue to come up with just ideas. Like the ideas can be whatever, and they go into a spot and then they're considered, at least. Like I think that they tried to do here in this book. So just cool to see how they built that machine of creativity. And that is no small feat. And that is really tough to do because that meant that they had to accept the fact that they couldn't rest on their laurels. Like they had to always be creating the new thing. And it could feel like a really out there idea that I don't know how this is going to work. But then, of course, then they come up with the movie Inside Out, where you're like in the brain of a person and there's these emotions. And that was super creative. But I'm going to guess right off the bat, that was really, are we sure this is going to work? That's not a princess. Like it's not an animal. Yeah, just that idea of having the feeling of a culture of creativity where anyone really can have an idea and you're not going to get your wrist slapped. It's not going to be viewed as a waste of time. Like that helps just exponentially compound the number of ideas I think that can come out in order to get the one, just to get the one idea that could be life-changing, could be company-changing, could be future-changing. So I think they did about as good of a job, and I'm sure it wasn't perfect. And I was curious, actually, are there people who worked there that are reading it and going, oh yeah, they're saying all this stuff, but that's not how it really was. I'm sure there's some of that, but they did a pretty darn good job, and they've got results to show.